Alright everyone, welcome back to Brigandine Characters here. We are going to cover Katri. I am your host, veracitytrigger. Please do something to help the channel out, and I'll see you after the intro. Thank you for watching. Alright, so we're going to cover Katri. She's the only archer on the team of Mana Saleesia Theocracy. Let's see what she's about, see if she's any good, all that kind of stuff. So, I have her as level 25. She's not a final class right now, as far as it is concerned on my team here, but let's look at some of her stats. Well, actually, let's read her profile first, and we'll cover her stats. So, let's see what she's about. So, Katri's a gender female, age 28, class sniper, a Mana Saleesian inquisitor and Zai sect devotee. She works under Kyle to grill suspected heretics with unrelenting interrogation tactics and is known for her iron-handedness. Forcing confessions from suspects even if she has no evidence of the wrongdoing. She used to train fiercely so as not to be underestimated by suspects during interrogation and acquired quite a good fierce figure as a result. Apparently she has a special way to get criminals who are captivated by her appearance to confess. So she just uses her feminine wiles to get what she wants. Alright, so what is she about? She's got a couple of skills here. Once you get the sniper, you get this dominate sky, increases damage dealt using skills against units preferring sky terrain. So by 50% just in the sniper class, so you're going to be doing phenomenal damage to quattles, rocks, things that are flying in the air or floating. Even if something puts a sky spell on itself, so be wary of this. If you put sky terrain on yourself and then you get shot by an archer, the damage is going to get bumped up. Sometimes you forget about it when you're playing and you're like, oh my gosh, why did that? This is kind of why. So if you're wondering, that's kind of a thing that they do. I don't think centaurs have that, but the snipers and archer classes get it in its rating of S, so it's the best you can get. Accuracy up to S, so increases accuracy by 20%, so it bumps up your agility, 20% to hit, and all that sort of thing. So you get the bow and arrow, you get the light armor plate, you get a gauntlet instead of a hat, and you get a ring to attach. You can do a lot of stuff with that. There's a lot of interesting gear you can get. But let's talk about some of her stats. Level 25, this is what I've been able to get so far. Command range of 4. So although the hit points are just, you're pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty good, I gotta say. MP is sort of average. I have to say mid-tier to, better kind of knight, actually, because of the command range of 4 tier. The character growth is at E, which is all right, but the command range really kind of like makes her a really standout knight, and the rune growth of B. So you can get a big team with her and a big mobile team. So I would recommend using her with a lot of mobile things like wyverns, hellhounds, lizardmen, things that move quickly on the field, or just a lot of things that you want to move around with her. Maybe a bunch of unicorns and things of that nature, just so you can do a lot with her. You can use her pretty well. She's actually retrofitted so that you can do very well with her. I'd have to say she's something akin to Lucia in the previous game, if you know what I'm talking about. Something akin to that as far as an archer is concerned. Is she the best archer ever? I wouldn't necessarily say she's the best archer, but she's very good. So, pretty reliable in that sense. So what do you get with level 25? Well, you get a lot of interesting things. You basically get like the female version of a Kai. Even though you get it with a Troubadour, it's strange. You kind of run both gamuts there. It's either physical or lightning, but it doesn't matter. You get the basic attack of arrow, lightning arrow here. Normal attack deals moderate damage to a single enemy unit within a 3 hex radius. Doesn't cost you nothing. Range of 3, gives you an extra green dot element and +9 accuracy. Pretty nice. Now we're coming up to the extra stuff. Selfless arrow. Now this is a little bit interesting. It's a pre-move, but it doesn't cost you any MP, which is nice. And it has a bonus of 31. So if you have to just stand there and shoot all day, try to do your selfless throw as much as possible, because it is a higher power score. It's right here. It says 135 versus the 110, right? So deals major damage to a single enemy unit within a 3 hex radius. High accuracy. So that's pretty good. So there's a lot going on here, right? It looks like they're all the same, but they're not. Okay? This next move here, Giga Impact. You see the radius here change on the left? Which I'm sure you do. I'm going to point an arrow to it. If you don't, it's right over there. It's on the left, right there. So you see this arrow, this radius go up from how much you can do. So this goes from 3 to 4. So the range goes up by 4. Now, the power also goes up to 150, but now it costs you 80 MP. Now, how much MP do we have to start? We have 200 MP. So not very much, not a lot. You have to get some gear. You got to put on some gear that will give you MP, and it'll raise it or give some potions or something like that. That'll work out. But Giga Impact does major damage to a single enemy unit within a 4 hex radius. Never misses. This is essentially like going back to the original Brigandine and using an Artemis. Now, in the original Brigandine, you had 2 range radius with an archer. Then you had 3 range radius with... sorry, a scout was 2, then an archer was 3, then an Artemis was 4. Now you don't just get the 4 right away. You have to spend some money, some MP money, to do it. So that's the only difference there. Now, Giga Impact is going to be more powerful than the previous one, which you might want to do it, but you might want to do it when you kind of know you need to do it, because this one's always free. You know, you can do it any time, but I'm saying, like, if you know you need a kill shot and you need enough MP to do it, then save it for that. Now, the other alternative you want to do it, because Giga Impact is going to be for one single unit, 1,000 Arrows is just like Geno Thunder, but for multiple units. So this one's single impact, this one's multi-impact, right? So Giga is single, 1,000 Arrows is multi. Just try to remember that. Now, yes, it isn't as strong as Giga Impact, but that's because you're hitting a lot of targets. So they're like, well, we're not going to give you it, you know, we're not going to give them the same thing, because then you would never use Giga Impact, because what's the point? Just hit everything with the same power level, right? So that's why they lowered the value down. Now, it's not as strong as Selfless Throw. It's a little stronger than the basic attack, right, by 5 points, but you see how they kind of like varied every little thing here to make it all different. Now, 1,000 Arrows is a little bit different than this. It says 1 to 4. This is 0 to 4. So you can see that what it's actually saying is that for the actual targeting purpose, it's more like a 3 range radius. You see how the radius kind of like stays the same when I click from Selfless to 1,000? But it does have a little extension there because you're hitting a lot of guys, so it kind of does go the extra distance a little bit, but it's really just used to hit a lot of guys. You can use it to finish off an enemy if you want, but I wouldn't count on it for the power rating, because you're going to get a lot more with Selfless Throw and Giga Impact. But 1,000 Arrows is kind of like a little Geno Bolt from a distance. You're shooting a bunch of arrows and they all hit in that spot. The only difference is that, like I was saying before with Monica here, unit targets a single space within 3 hex radius, deals moderate damage to all units within the 1 hex radius of the designated space. Never misses. So all units. So this one will hit your own guys. I don't think the Thunder will, but this one will. So if you got guys, your own team, your own monsters, your own knights within that radius, you'll hit your own teammates. So you got to be careful, because it's just arrows coming down. But yeah, it is 150, so it's a little steep. So essentially what you saw before, if we flip back, it's going to be all your MP pretty much. You got 200 MP with her right now. She doesn't get a lot of MP growth from what I've seen playing as her, but it'll be pretty much a one-time usage, and then you're done. And then you can see if I use this with my 200 MP, I'd be down to 50 MP. I couldn't even do a Giga Impact. There wouldn't be anything else to do. So with her, I'm either doing 2 Giga Impacts So, because each would be 80 and 80 would be 160, and another 80 would be 240, which we don't even have 240 right now. So you're going to need some gear that increases her MP to be able to do more spells, like maybe 3 Giga Impacts, maybe 1,000 arrows and a Giga Impact. You know, it depends on how you're going to, you know, prop her up and what you're going to do with her. But the reason I'm saying she's not one of the absolute best knights, she's kind of like sort of average, is because you have to give her gear in order to kind of round her out and let her have more utility. She's pretty good. She just doesn't have a lot of MP to do all these skills. So the only good part about her, well, I'm not saying the only good part, but the really good part about her is that you get this rune growth of B. So if you fall short in using some of those spells, or no, sorry, not spells, but the skills to use your arrow attacks, at least you're going to have a lot of monsters on your team to be able to do something with once you're not able to use all that MP. So yeah, that's pretty much it for her. Let me know if you've used her with Rudo's main team. I've never really used her with Rudo's main team. I'm thinking she might be good with him, but I don't, well, maybe, I think maybe, because if he goes in for a super attack and she comes to finish it off, you know, she could be good for that, but I've never really tried. I'd like to know what you think, though. I mean, I've tried a lot of stuff in this game, but there's definitely combinations of certain units I really haven't been able to pull together. It's just kind of an idea of what I want to do with them. For her, I kind of put her on one of my flanking teams, not my main team, but my flanking teams that wants to come in and do a little extra of something. Usually I'll put her with Averill, because then I could put her into the forest going after the shinobi, or going up into the Holy Gustava area, doing something up there with Averill, or some other knight like Alan. You know, I try different things like that, but she works pretty good with more of an offensive front line. A defensive front line, yeah, I'm not, I really never, I never had a really fun time with that. I really enjoyed her more with an offensive team, where the other knights were a little more feisty. They were a little more Viking-ish, or swords mastery, you know, something like that. I had a little more fun with that, instead of having her play back and play defense with like a bishop or something like that. So let me know how you use her, and if you think there's a good option for her in any other way. All right, so I'm going to end the video here. If you liked it, let me know some way, shape, or form, and I will see you in the next guide video. Thank you for watching.